12.5 is geometric transformations. To start off with, if you're looking at the points, I made an error. When I was formatting, these two graphs got switched. So this graph corresponds to these points, and then this graph corresponds to these points. So you may want to switch that on your notes so you don't get confused. So what we're going to do though, if we take a look at these coordinates and this graph, we want to, it says, use matrix addition to find the coordinates of each image after we move it to the right 2 units and we move it down 4 units. You don't need to go ahead and regraph them if you don't want to. But we want to take this whole image and we want to move it to the right 2 units and down 4 units. So a couple different ways that you can do that. You can do it individually, point by point. So if we move this to the right 2 units and then we move it down 4 units, that's going to be our new matrix A. And then if we take our matrix B, we move it to the right 2 units and then we move it down 4 units. That would be our matrix B. And then if we move our matrix C to the right 2 units and then down 4 units, that would be our matrix, new matrix C. So how we would go ahead and label this would be our new triangle. So then our new matrix A, or not matrix, our new coordinate for A, we went over to 5 and then up to 5, so it'd be 5, 5. Our new coordinate B is then 4 and then up to 3. And then our new C coordinate is going to be 7 and then 3. Okay, another way that we can think of this, notice if it's going to the right 2, that's affecting the x value. So then we could go ahead and, since it's going to the right 2, add 2 units to our x value. Okay, and then it's moving down 4 units, so if it's going up and down, that's affecting our y value. Since it's going down, we would then subtract 4 from our y value. So that would be another easy way that you could do it, just looking at the coordinates instead of having to regraph it. So then this would be our final answer. Those would be our new coordinates. And this little tick mark just means that those are the new coordinates of our new image if we moved it to the right 2 units and then down 4 units. For this next one that we're going to take a look at, number 5, it says find the coordinates of each image after given dilation. So first off, when I think of dilation, think of when you get your eyes dilated, that the middle part enlarges. So if we're dilating them by a number greater than 1, then the image is going to get larger. If we dilate them by a number smaller than 1, then they're going to get smaller. So each of these are different coordinates. So think of this as coordinate A, coordinate B, and coordinate C. So we're going to dilate them by a factor of 3. So if you think to our scalar factors, we're going to multiply each of these numbers by 3. So then our new coordinates, if we ended up dilating these, would be 9, 3, 15, 18, and 24, 12. Each of the columns gives you a new coordinate. Okay, make sure again if this scalar factor is a number greater than 1, then if you would plot these original coordinates and these new ones, the image, the triangle, gets larger. If the number, the scalar, is less than 1, then that object that it forms then gets smaller. Alrighty, now this next type of problem that we're going to take a look at, it says rotate the triangles with these coordinates a certain degree. Okay, so when it says that we want to rotate, then we're rotating it about a single point. So for this one, we're rotating it 90 degrees. Okay, so you're going to be able to get this sheet that we want to rotate these 90 degrees, so we're going to use this matrix right here. This 0, negative 1, 1, 0. And again, you don't need to have these memorized. Okay, so since we're rotating in at 90 degrees, we want to use this matrix. Okay, so that's going to be our matrix that we're using. And then we're going to multiply it by, we're going to label each of these coordinates. And each of the coordinates is going to be a column. So matrix A is 2 and then 3. Matrix B is 4, 6. And matrix C is 5, 4. Okay, and then we just multiply those. So if we grab our calculator, first one's a 2 by 2. The second one is a 2 by 3. So we're going to take matrix A times matrix B. We're going to multiply them, and then this is going to give us our new coordinates. So this is our new coordinate A, B, and C. So let me write that matrix down. And how you can write your answer, you can just leave it as this matrix. That's perfectly fine. Or you can go ahead and write the new coordinates. Okay. Now if we plotted these new coordinates, you can see that they rotated the triangle 90 degrees. So negative 3, positive 2, negative 6, and then positive 4, and then negative 4, and then positive 5. Okay, so that is our triangle rotated 90 degrees. And then for these last two, again, you'll have a formula sheet with them. You'll just want to make sure, however the rotation is, you use that matrix to start off with for your matrix A. Alrighty, now these next ones, we want to rotate or reflect them, instead of rotating them. So reflection is actually them flipping it across a line instead of rotating them about a point. So that's the difference between a rotation. Rotation, you're rotating them about a single point, or a reflection, you're flipping them across a line. So we want to, again, think of this as separate coordinates. We want to go ahead and reflect them across this line y equals x. So if we go to our formula sheet, we want to reflect it across the line y equals x. So we're going to then be using these matrices for reflections. We're going to reflect it across the line y equals x, so we're going to use this one right here. Then we're going to multiply it by the matrix that is given to us. Okay. And then we're going to take A times our matrix B. And then that is going to give us our answer. So let me write it down. it says find the coordinates of the new coordinates. So it's going to be 2, 1, 5, 3, and 4, 5. Those would be our new coordinates. If we went ahead and plotted the original ones and then reflected them across the line y equals x, then this is going to be our new coordinates. Again, this formula sheet, you are not going to have it memorized. I will give it to you with the different rotations and the different reflections.